April 10, 2026. Artemis II splashes down. The astronauts are smiling. NASA is cheering. The mission is officially a success. So why is NASA quietly worried? Over the next 7 minutes, I will show you 3 things NASA is not saying. First, let's look at what went right. Artemis II was supposed to be simple. 4 astronauts, 10 days, a loop around the far side of the moon. They flew farther than any humans in history. Over 406,000 kilometers from Earth. They tested life support, manual navigation, and the Orion heat shield. That heat shield was the biggest question mark before launch. By every public metric, it worked. The capsule came back intact. The astronauts are healthy. So why the worry? Because behind the scenes, NASA was terrified. The heat shield controversy. To understand the worry, go back to Artemis I, November 2022. No crew. When Orion returned, engineers found something alarming. The heat shield had cracked, not one crack. Over 100 places. Pieces had broken off. The shield protects against 5,000-degree re-entry plasma. If that fails with astronauts inside, you don't get a second chance. Months before launch, there was a fierce internal debate. Some engineers wanted to delay. Charlie Camarda, a former astronaut and heat shield expert, went public. NASA definitely does not have the data to show that it is safe. He estimated the mission was 95% safe. That means a 1 in 20 chance of losing the crew. Commercial aviation, by comparison, is 1 in 9 million. Artemis II launched anyway. The mission and near misses, April 1st, 2026. Artemis II lifts off from Kennedy Space Center. Almost immediately, a problem. A helium leak in the propulsion system. Not catastrophic, but it got worse over time. NASA now has to redesign that entire system. That means sending hardware back to Germany, where it was built. And here is the weird one. Microsoft Outlook crashed. Seriously. NASA fixed it remotely. But it is a reminder. Billion-dollar missions rely on software that freezes. Then, the toilet fan broke. Again. Same problem from Artemis I. The crew fixed it in flight. But you do not want to troubleshoot a toilet while flying around the moon? None of these were mission killers, but together, they tell a story. Artemis II worked. Barely. But the real worry wasn't technical. The real worry, budget and politics. Here is the worry NASA will not put in a press release. Money. Even as Artemis II was flying, the administration proposed slashing NASA's budget by 23%. Science programs? Cut by 46%. One expert called it extinction level for space research. Here is the strange part. NASA's own administrator publicly supported the cuts, but experts say his argument does not hold up. Why does this matter for Artemis? Because Artemis III is already delayed. SpaceX and Blue Origin have not finished their lunar landers. A NASA audit found major technical challenges. Without funding, those delays get worse. And China has announced it wants astronauts on the moon by 2030. The space race is not Cold War nostalgia anymore. It is real. And right now, America is worried. Let us go back to the original question. Is NASA really worried about Artemis II itself? No. The mission succeeded. The crew is safe. The heat shield worked. But about everything else? Yes. Worried that the helium leak requires a full redesign. Worried that the heat shield issue is not fully solved. Worried that budget cuts will push Artemis III past 2030. Worried that China will land first. The commander of Artemis II, Reed Wiseman, said something after landing. "We are not done. This was just the beginning." But beginnings are fragile. And right now, NASA's next chapter is written in pencil, not ink. Artemis II proved humans can live deeper in space than ever before. But the question is not whether NASA can go back to the moon. The question is whether America still wants to pay for it. What do you think? Was NASA right to fly Artemis II with a 1 in 20 risk?